Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony. This is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1755, written by Symnestra, guided in night by a stranger's light. When I was in 5th grade, I went to science camp on a mountain in California. We had a night hike that was supposed to teach us about the different cells in our eyes, so we did it without any flashlights at all. Our eyes adjusted to just starlight, and it was actually pretty cool, until the counselors made us walk a stretch of the path alone, one by one. We were 10, and at least some of us were still afraid of the dark. Me. So I was far too anxious to listen properly to the instructions. One counselor went ahead through the bushes and radioed for the other to start sending kids. My turn comes up, and I drag my feet down the path until I hit a fork. I vaguely remember the counselor saying something about it. Or was I remembering wrong? Which way was I supposed to go? Was it even a fork, or was I just not able to see properly in the dark? Mind you, this was a pitch black mountain in California, with nothing around for miles other than the camp. I didn't want to get lost. I looked behind me, briefly considering going back the way I came, to admit that I was a dumb butt who didn't listen. But when I turned back to the fork, there was a man standing there. He was Asian, wearing wireframe glasses and a white t-shirt. It was barely 50 Fahrenheit on the mountain. I wasn't scared. I felt no malice from him. If anything, I was relieved to not be alone in the dark anymore. He gestured for me to go one way, so I did. Rejoined the rest of my class, and the counselor radioed to send the next kid. I didn't think anything of it for the rest of the trip. It took me until I was on the bus ride home, reflecting on the hike, to realize that I'd never seen him before. He wasn't one of the counselors leading the hike, he never came out with us, and he never emerged from the bushes after all the kids had done their solo walk. I have no idea who or what he was. Case answer file 1755, guided in night by a stranger's light. So I think this was your guardian angel, choosing his form but only appearing to you in a mental state. So you were imagining him, but induced by the guardian angel. I don't think there was an actual Asian man wandering the woods in that area that the guardian angel could possess. So I think it was in your mind. Through your mind's eye, you could say. And I don't think there was anything nefarious at all about it. It's your guardian angel, just trying to calm your spirits. I think people have this idea of guardian angels as being purely there to protect you from death, but I think it goes much deeper than that. Guardian angels can be there to even comfort your soul if you're particularly scared. Especially I think if there's relevance later on. Maybe if he didn't appear, then the probable future would have been something very different in a negative way. It's hard to say, hard to see all the dominoes that could possibly fall. And again, I don't believe you can ever predict the future. Even the developers or guardian angels can't, but they can probably see possible futures extrapolated. It's like weird comparison, but predicting the weather, the climate in the future with climate change and all that. Yeah, it's kind of political now too, but I won't get too deep into that. But basically the idea is you have different models that are trying to predict it, and you don't depend on just one model. You look at ensemble of models, like hundreds and hundreds of them, because just one, maybe just the one will be exactly what the future holds, but no, it's probably going to be some mixture or some average of them. And you can't really know which one. You can just make educated guesses. And of course that applies to real life, but to an exponential level of more complexity. The further out you go in the future, the harder it becomes to predict any individual future. They can just look at averages and say, okay, if I don't help now, probably this wouldn't end well for him or affect someone else even. The things they're considering on the holistic level, probably impossible to even imagine. So, that makes me think, maybe the real world isn't managed by humans actually. Maybe it's managed by a sort of advanced AI, but not Matrix style, where they're harvesting our energy, which doesn't make sense. It was meant to be our brain capacity, but not nefarious like that, where we're slaves or like cattle. No, just managed for our pleasurable experience. So maybe it's trying to tailor the experience per what we want out of it. Just spitballing. Case file number 1756, written by Penny949. Disappearing Plea? Where could they be? I'm starting to get really weirded out by this. I'm traveling in Europe at the moment. My mom helped me out with some money as a gift for my birthday. I visited Italy, France, London, and Scotland. This whole time, I've been wanting to find a gift for her to say thank you. The first gift I bought was in France, a 7-inch record of an old 60s artist she loves. Me and my friend were on foot. He bought a record too. The guy in the record store put our purchases in separate bags and we walked home. I was holding the bag the whole way home and we didn't stop anywhere. When we got back to the apartment, he had his record and I simply did not have mine. It was gone. I mean it when I say I looked everywhere. Next stop, Italy. I painstakingly chose some gold earrings for my mom in Venice. I put them safely in a sealed makeup bag inside another sealed makeup bag. This is where I keep all the little gifts I've bought people. There are about 6 things in there. 1 week on, I am in my hotel and I open up the little case to look at my gifts and send my dad a photo of the earrings. The day before, I noticed that the earrings were indeed in there, safe and sound, while I was adding another gift to the case. Every single item was there, except the earrings. They are literally just gone. I did not take them out at any stage. I tore apart my entire suitcase and luggage, even though I knew that was the only place they could be. I have not lost a single item on my 4-week trip, not even a train ticket, except for the 2 very valuable gifts I tried to buy my mom. Kindly, what the hell? For people saying it was my friend, I totally would have thought this too, but when we entered the hotel, he was truly only holding 1 bag with his 1 record in it. My record never even made it inside the apartment. Also, I was traveling completely solo when the earrings disappeared. Case notes for file 1756. Disappearing plea. Where could they be? Ah, yes. The disappearing plea to the universe, like, what the hell is going on? Universe, talk to me. Answer me. It's like trying to pray to God, like, give me something here, you know? This isn't normal. Help me out. I'm going crazy. You're not crazy. Relax. It's okay. But it is weird, no matter how normal it is to read. Case file number 1757. Written by weareallhaunted. Spoon Mystique. A puzzle unique. The other day, I went to get a teaspoon out of my kitchen drawer, pulled out a spoon with a very distinctive shape that I had never seen before. I got a weird feeling in my chest when holding it. Shock at something not being what I expected, I guess, but just carried on. I asked my partner if he had accidentally brought it home from somewhere, and he said no, and I said I was kind of freaked out because how did a spoon just randomly appear? He told me I was being crazy and someone probably left it at our house. 2 days later when I wake up, he informs me that there is another random teaspoon. This one is from a Finnair airplane. The logo is stamped on the handle, and now he agrees with me that this is strange and is also freaked out by it. We sent photos to any friends who had been at our house in the last month. We thought maybe it was a prank, though we are not prank people and neither are our friends. But none of them had ever seen them. We had some tradespeople fixing our roof a couple weeks ago, so we chalked it up to them somehow leaving 2 spoons in our kitchen, even though some things don't add up, like not seeing the spoons for weeks. They wouldn't have had any reason to go into our kitchen, and the spoons showing up days apart. But today, 4 days after the Finnair spoon appeared, it has now disappeared, and I can't find it anywhere. I put both of the weird spoons in a specific back section of our cutlery drawer. Neither of us had used them. What is happening? Case notes for file 1757. Spoon Mystique, a puzzle unique. What I find interesting about this story is how you instinctively knew that the spoon was more than just out of place, like someone dropped it off accidentally. You knew there was something deeper going on, like it was from a different universe. I don't think you consciously had that thought specifically, but you knew holding it was wrong. So maybe there is a way to detect when objects or even people, not their souls but their physical body, are in the wrong universe. Maybe that's also why we feel uneasy if we see our doppelganger. The doppelganger is from a different universe, the physical body. They're not there forever, just for a bit, usually. But maybe that's why we feel uneasy, because we can detect when things are not supposed to be there. And if that's the case, then there is a scientific method to doing this. We just don't know what it is yet. It's like back in the day. People didn't know how birds navigated so efficiently, so well, over such long distances. Now we know they use the electromagnetic field of the planet. It was pure mysticism to us. There was no possible way that we could see, that we could measure, to determine how they were doing that. So I think it's similar to this. It's just another layer deeper into science eventually. We'll be able to discover the properties of matter to a greater extent that could show us the differences between objects from different universes, and maybe we're able to detect them now in a way that we don't yet fully understand. Now, time for the quote of the day. I'm only brave when I have to be. Being brave doesn't mean you go looking for trouble. Mufasa from Lion King. And you know, he had some pretty good quotes in that movie, I have to say. But yeah, that is entirely how you should approach life. It's like martial arts, learning self-defense, how to fight. You don't learn how to fight to go pick fights with other people. You learn how to fight to defend yourself and others if necessary. And generally speaking, you should try to avoid fighting at any cost. There are situations where it is warranted, but just be very careful. Pick your fights wisely, as they say. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.